Well, that was different. Yo, um, man, welcome to Off the Record, man. Appreciate y'all joining us. Uh, we're going to talk about Chris Rock, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith. Everybody else has a damn opinion, so why shouldn't we share our opinion on the situation? I don't even know where y'all want to start with it, man. Everybody already knows Chris Rock told an ad lib joke about uh, Jada Pinkett, G.I. Jane, reference to her being bald, and essentially an alopecia joke, I guess. Jada Pinkett Smith suffers from alopecia, and it appears Will laughed at first, but Jada did not. And after he looked at Jada, he decided to get up and smack Chris Rock on stage of the Oscars. Chris Rock ate that punch and kind of looked like he was shocked, as I guess everybody else was who's seen the clip or were watching it live. But let's just get straight to it, fellas, man. Where do y'all stand? Y'all cool with Will Smith jumping on stage and punching somebody telling a maybe a bad joke? But don't all jump at once.
Nah, man, I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with it. And we all make mistakes, you know what I mean? There no one's perfect, but at the end of the day, man, um, to get up there and to violate somebody, you know what I'm saying, physically off of a joke, um, and to do it in that magnitude, it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was an issue or something, if you didn't like it, you know, you're the biggest megastar, you're A-list star, you're half of Hollywood. You know what I mean? There's no reason why you can't be able to get to him or talk with him on the side. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going out and physically smacking that man, I feel like he embarrassed himself and he embarrassed, you know what I mean? Everybody that's came before him when it comes to this acting thing and what it represented and the people that actually put forth um, going forward with the Oscars. So nah, man, it wasn't cool.
I'm gonna let y'all go because I got a little bit of a difference of opinion on this one. I can feel it in the room already. I'm the one with the difference of opinion on this one.
Do we have to cut this with a butter knife? Is this something to where I see you
I'm
saying
saying like, oh yeah, I mean I could go. I'm kind of leaning on the side of Will on this one. I'm just saying, I Will been through a lot, man. Will been through a lot the last year. I'm not saying that the setting was right. I'm not saying that. uh I mean, the optics obviously were all wrong, but I seen a man who was tired, yo, and Will tired. He been he been the brunt of jokes for the last year and a half, yo. Like that's the biggest. Now this is now the biggest stage he's been on. You know, he's about to win an Oscar. Like he don't want to hear that right now. So I'm leaning on the side of Will doing what he did. That's me.
I, I'm just like, what was he supposed to do? Everybody got all the answers. You know, this is set black folks back. We shouldn't be doing this on white folks' stage. All this and that. He's protecting his queen, black women, and all this. Like, what was he supposed to do? Like, I be honest. Like, when it first happened, I saw just like everybody else. Will was laughing at the joke. You know, Jada might have gave him a side eye, whatever. He runs up there and smacks Chris Rock, but it's like, and a lot of people's like, yo, he was wrong for that. Well, what was he supposed to do? If you're sitting there, some dude's cracking jokes on your wife, regardless of what stage it's on, about a medical condition, what you supposed to do? Would you just sit there? Was he supposed to not say nothing? Like it just go home and it deal with it. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't necessarily know about going up on stage and smack. I mean, he's a comedian. I mean, he was telling a joke. I probably would not have done that, but I don't know. What do people? What should he have done? If his wife was hurt, if Jada was hurt, should he have just sat there and said nothing? Then they would have criticized him then too, just the same way they criticized him for not slapping August Alsina. What was he supposed to do?
so so
Shit.
so so because and I understand it. So she gives you a look, and she's upset, and she's feeling a certain way. That permits someone to go up onto a stage and just slap someone because of a joke. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I just feel like you could have, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, ultimately, I think he's a great guy. Everything he's done, you know what I'm saying? I just said just that particular situation, it just ain't look right.
no,
I don't think the look was like, yo, go smack dude. But like, yo, you look and you see your wife upset, like that she was just hurt. I think that you might that might change the way that you react. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I think people are taking it like, yo. I mean, obviously, the internet is making it like, yo, Jada gave him that look, like, yo, you better go and do it, or you better do something about that, right? So that's what the internet is going to spin it as. But I'm looking at it as Will looking at his wife, and his wife is hurt by the comment that was made. I also agree with my man D Weezy in the comments, like, yo, say what you want about me, but keep my wife out. Keep my wife out of it. Like he said, if you listen to the uncensored version of the clip, he said, "Keep my wife name out your effing mouth." Like, yo, talk about me, but yo, my wife going through something, especially an illness or whatever, right? Some people are trying to downplay that. Like, you don't know how can you determine what type of illness affects another person just because it might not be a big deal to you, might be a big deal to her. So in that
Well,
man, in that man lives with this lady, and he knows what she's going through behind the scenes. So I mean, I'm looking at it from that. Like, yo, leave my wife out of this. Talk about me all you want.
well, oh man, look, I think he should have sat his ass down and said something to Chris Rock backstage. I mean, now Jada Pinkett is not the first woman to be teased at an award show, and I have no idea. She gave him a look. I'm sure she didn't know that he was going to hop up there and go, swing on Chris. I mean, I don't think anybody could have foresaw that happening. Um, oh man. Okay, so Mike, you said Will has had enough. Well, he's had enough because his own wife put him through the ringer.
I mean,
Nobody else
Thank
did.
you.
His own wife put him through the ringer, right? So like it ain't so there's that part of it. If he's upset because of everything that's happened these last couple years, it was his own wife that did it. So that's number one. Number two, like I think I don't know how badly alopecia affects her. I know many black women struggle with those hair issues. I know a lot of people struggle with those hair issues. I think we can all agree there are varying degrees of certain diseases, certain illnesses, and others. All diseases and illnesses are not created equal. They simply are not.
right?
And if they were, then people have been making fun of Magic Johnson for over 30 years for having HIV, yucking it up, yucking it up. That man was facing death. And people have laughed all day long since 1992 when he announced it.
That don't mean he
Like,
don't want to get up there and smack somebody's fucking head
no,
off.
no doubt. But like,
The acting
no
of it.
doubt. But people have been teasing him about one of the most serious illnesses we've ever seen since he
Yeah.
announced it from day one. People teased when Whitney Houston overdosed on drugs. Didn't Pusha T use the bathroom scene as an album cover? And when R. Kelly was pissing on little girls, everybody was laughing at Dave Chappelle making fun of it via a skit.
That's true.
So like, there's a lot of bad jokes that like this, from what I've seen.
Social media is
Can I-
full of bad jokes.
And can I add to
Yeah.
that? No one said
Every
anything
time.
when Regina Hall came out. You know what I'm saying, and pretty much said something, a joke about that particular relationship. No one said anything about that.
Yo,
Like,
but
he
this
didn't say
wasn't
anything.
about the
Well,
relation. This was about my wife being her illness.
I
Yeah,
do
but I
wonder
mean-
if Jimmy Kimmel had told that exact same joke, is he getting up there and smacking Jimmy Kimmel? I don't think so.
But you
I
know
don't
that-
think
that
so at
Chris
all.
Rock, though. Like, I mean, that was just.
We don't know. I mean, because let's be real. This ain't the first time Will smacked somebody. If you
Rumor
go-
has
if
that
you-
he smacked Anthony Mackie, right?
Well, no. Well, there's a rumor, but then there's actual footage of him smacking that reporter who like tried to kiss him.
Yeah, but that was like that was like a full off type of like, you know,
Yo, he
like
still,
this.
yeah, but he meant like, yo, get off of me and smack. Obviously, smacking is his thing because that's my that's my other question. Like, I mean, like, did he know he was going to smack when he went up there, or like who thinks to smack somebody like that? And that was like a
I
that was like
want to know how he goes from laughing at the joke to
Right.
smacking the shit out of Chris Rock
Yo.
in 0 to 6 seconds. Like,
Because he
at
saw
one point, the camera was on Will. He was going, ha, ha, ha. Then the camera wasn't on Will, and he up there having an emotional breakdown, slapping the shit out of
Right.
Chris Rock. What happened?
he saw
I
the
don't
look.
even think.
She gave him the look, yo.
Did
He got
she?
up there.
Did she give him the look? She looked
Yeah.
away. She didn't look toward him. She
Right.
looked. She just kind of like giving side eyes. She didn't look at Will. Maybe Will
mean-
peeked. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
I think something to add too, like, so, you know, Will gets into it with Chris Rock, he slaps him, and obviously then the show becomes all about Will smacking Chris Rock. But like that moment, that 20 seconds overshadowed Samuel L. Jackson's Lifetime Achievement Award, Will Packer's first award. It overshadowed it was somebody else that got an award that night.
Summer of Soul.
Questlove.
That's what-
Yeah, like, yo, like, you could have went
Beyonce.
backstage as soon as they went to commercial break. You could have went backstage and pulled up on Chris if you thought it was that egregious of a joke. You didn't have to hijack the show, because now it really is. And not to mention, man, as far as my personal opinion, let's just say Chris tells that joke and maybe Will addresses it backstage or behind closed doors. The joke goes away by the next day. By the fact that Will assaulted him, now it ain't going nowhere for at least a week. And there's all these think pieces and all just.
And don't you have to get those jokes clear before they even?
What
leave
the
the stadium?
Academy Award said that specific joke was ad lib. Chris didn't tell them he was going to tell it.
and okay,
Whether that's
So,
true or not, who knows?
right? Whether that's true or not, but if it is true, then to me that even makes it worse, because you added some shit that wasn't clear to be told about, and then on top of that about my wife, right? But even because
So where do we draw the line? I mean, he's a comedian. Where do we draw the line?
he's a
Yo, that's what I'm saying. That's what you do, yo. Comedians do that. They joke. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. That's what they get paid.
Yo,
to do.
so
that's
that's-
the career. You know what I'm saying? Like, in particular with that situation, yo. Like, and the thing about it is, like, he's jumping into that particular realm. So, like, I mean, stand up. You know, people are gonna crack jokes. You know what I mean? Like that. That's just you could have did that on the other side, yo. You're an A-list celebrity.
I listen. I'm not disagreeing, right? He is an A-list celebrity, but me and my wife had the discussion about this, and she agrees with you guys. He was wrong. He shouldn't have did that. But I'm like, yo, he said the same thing. He's an A-list guy, blah blah blah, right? Two black men, doesn't look good. Cool, but he like, yo, he's a man first. Like,
Well, if he's a man first, then maybe address all the foolishness that's been out there in the media the last few years rather than a bad joke.
I mean,
Yeah. The whole reason this is even a thing is because Will and Jada have made their relationship a thing for the last 3 years.
She's made it a thing for the last 3 years.
Agreed. Like, here's a great
You know what I'm saying?
here's a great example. When Jay-Z allegedly cheated on Beyonce, they both kind of referenced it in their songs, and then it shit went away. You never heard them talk about it publicly. Even when Solange assaulted Jay, never was that addressed publicly. They handled that behind closed doors, and we forgot about it probably until I just brought it up now. Like,
yo, but I
everybody's
mean,
been bringing that shit up.
he ain't expected. But I'm saying, I think that's different. Like, he wasn't expecting that to be said.
Yo,
you go to those award shows, you hear a lot of out of pocket jokes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
how I
And
see
so
it.
the thing to that is, like, all right, you've been hearing this long, yo, and people have been saying this stuff, yo. You ain't say nothing else about it. You ain't do nothing. But the 1 minute, and this is what I'm saying.
But it wasn't about the relationship. It
but
was
it's also
about his
assuming-
wife's
No.
health.
It's also
No,
assuming
no,
Chris
no,
Rock
no.
knew she
Hold
had alopecia or suffered from a hair issue.
Yeah, but
That's assuming he
okay.
knew that.
Do you think Jada approved of him slapping Chris Rock? Like, everybody said, yo, she gave him the look.
she-
I don't even think she really, like. I don't know. I don't know. She told him to go up there, yo.
I'm sure that's.
I
I don't
know.
think she. I don't think she told. I definitely don't think she told him to go up there. I think that's the last thing everybody on this planet thought was going to happen. And even when it happened, people thought the shit was fake. So like nobody thought that was going to happen, including Jada. I feel confident in saying that. But yo, like I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that again, it wasn't right. But what it looks like is a man who snapped. Who had like his whole speech was about protecting people, protecting his family. He felt he had to protect his family right there.
Even hijacked the Williams sister stuff. Like,
yeah, but that's not a way of protecting though. You know what I'm saying? Like getting up there and doing something like wow, that's not protecting though. Like that's you know what I mean? Like that's kind of sugarcoating it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to protect, like you know what I'm saying, you do that on the scenes to where ain't nobody watching that. And if
what if he want the world to know like his wife he ain't playing with his family?
All right, well then there's been a number of opportunities for Will to say he wasn't playing with his family.
Thank you, and that's what I'm saying. And you didn't carry it with nobody else, but you carried it with him like that. And you know why you carried it with him like that? Because he looked like that. He was that dude to steal off on. And so you didn't have
how we know he ain't still off on August Alsina, and how you know he ain't looking at August Alsina as a kid, and how we know. Like this is
yeah. You can't he was banging his wife, but
that's what I'm saying.
Right, but this is my problem. This is my issue with that comparison, right? Like again, everybody's comparing August Alsina to Chris Rock, right? Because there was a transgression in their relationship that Will also had as well, right? So how they squared away the whole cheating aspect, that's one thing. Right? Because nobody's saying, well, she was doing her thing, Will was doing her thing, so nobody's saying Jada should go smack her, go smack the chick that Will was dealing with, right?
Jada probably don't even care, yo.
So, but that's cool. Maybe he don't. Maybe that was okay. This is what happened. She cheated, I cheated, or we was messing with other people. Cool, but maybe when the line is drawn when somebody was talking about his wife's health, maybe that was the line. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm asking you this, right? G.I. Jane, he said the G.I. Jane joke. Does anybody went through the characteristics of G.I. Jane in the movie and what the movie was about?
I remember seeing it with Demi Moore back in the day.
So did she so did G.I. Jane, did she suffer from alopecia?
No, she shaved her hair because she went into the military.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that like if it was something to where he actually went out and said like, yo, made this particular joke about the particular her particular health, that's one thing. But like for people to insinuate that, oh, that's what he went out there and said, like, I mean, come on, yo. Like, if you're gonna say a G.I. Jane joke, like, keep it on the cloud of G.I. Jane. Like, I mean, don't try to insinuate that he's saying all this other stuff.
Well,
yeah, I'll say this: you never know what somebody could be going through. So it's not right for people to sit up and tell somebody else where to draw the line at. But like at the same time, yo, he's a comedian, yo. What do you expect? Everybody know what kind of jokes Chris Rock tell. He be joking on people. That's like going to. Like when Martin was hosting, what's his name, to be going to that show and expect and be like, yo, Martin ain't gonna say nothing about me. If he says something about me, I'm gonna get up on stage and smack. Like, yo, you know what kind of jokes he tells.
He ain't say nothing about Will. He said something about his wife.
Oh my God.
Look, man,
and we'll address that. Yo, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like, yo, talk about me. Leave my wife out of this.
Jada's a celebrity, Mike. She's a celebrity too, man. Like, come on, dog.
That's what I'm saying, yo. Like,
come on. She's not some defense list.
So it's two things that I seen watching the net, looking through the net. Y'all will probably know this better than me, right? So I'm gonna ask y'all because y'all movie buffs. I'm not. I don't remember. I remember the movie. I don't remember the particulars of the movie. So somebody claims that the G.I. Jane reference was deeper than just the hair, just the look.
Oh, God.
Somebody's always listen.
Let me ask y'all this. I don't know about the particulars of the movie, but supposedly G.I. Jane cheated on her husband in the movie. Is that true? I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I ask you.
I don't remember all of that.
No, but I did see that though. I did see that.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Y'all saying come on, but y'all saying come on. Chris Rock is a comedian, but Chris Rock is one of the best comedians in the world. So to think that he wouldn't tie that together, if it's true, y'all shortchanging him.
Hold on. If he tells, hold on.
If he tells that when it came up,
and if that's the case, though, how come he hasn't said anything in the past to anybody that has brought up his transgressions in that particular? Like that's what I'm saying. Like
my only thing with it is
y'all
if
keep
the
bringing
joke
up the
is deeper.
Y'all keep bringing up the cheating. He talked about his. Obviously, it was he was upset about him talking about his wife. He didn't say don't talk about the transgressions.
That's
He
it,
said
Mike,
he said don't. I'm saying, but he pinpointed Jada in the joke. Did he not? Did he go to Jada and say, I'm looking forward to seeing G.I. Jane Part 2? Did he say Will Smith? He said Jada. I'm looking forward to seeing Will.
He said Jada, I love you. He said Jada, I love you. Can't wait to see G.I. Jane too.
Okay.
Somehow, some way, whether or not Will was upset or not, Will certainly laughed at that joke. Clearly laughed first, like everybody else in the audience. So what made him go from laughing to punching a dude on national TV, live TV? I don't know.
Seconds.
Yeah, he certainly laughed first.
Okay, so let me ask y'all. So let me ask y'all this, right? All of y'all got ladies, right? If there's somebody can say something about your lady that you find funny, right? But if you look and see that she's hurt by it, you just gonna chill and act like
stop laughing. We at a comedy show, yo. What the?
You're not at a comedy show. You at the biggest. You're on the biggest stage of my life.
Okay, so
you
Chris
just
Rock can't tell jokes then. So we're gonna hire Chris Rock.
He can tell jokes
and don't tell no jokes.
No, he could tell jokes, but Alex just said that they are supposed to approve his jokes, but he ad-libbed that one.
But they do that all the time.
The one that you,
that's what they're saying.
But you ad-libbed one that. So personally, I think that he may have. I think that it might be BS. That I think that the Academy, I think the Academy is. I think they're trying to save their ass on this one, right? So they could be. That could not have been the case. Maybe it did slip through the cracks because, again, I was looking at celebrity reactions to it, and Nicki Minaj, of all people, had the best reaction to it because she's blaming the Academy for it. Like to say basically that, yo, she did defend Chris and say, I don't think that Chris would have told that joke if he knew what Jada was going through, right? But she said it's 900 people on that team at the Academy. No, not one of y'all saw Jada give that speech or give her heartbreaking speech before the show about how losing her hair is affecting her. So she put it on the Academy. So I think that they are trying to save themselves by saying that he slipped that one through. But I'm just saying that doesn't change how it made Will feel about somebody joking his wife, who then hurt her feelings. That's all I'm saying. Because if you see somebody and an illness is affecting them, again, like you said, Brandon, how do we know, who are we to say how this is going to affect or how it affects somebody? Mm-hmm. Like you see what she's going through. You see how it may be affecting her more than anybody else. So he snapped and he defended his wife. I'm not saying it's right. The optics and everything look bad. Defending
it, bro.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
could have handled that behind closed doors.
That's all I'm saying, yo.
He could have.
And also, like, I didn't send this to you guys. I think I sent it to you, Mike, early. But like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote a wonderful article about it, and anybody wants to check it out, just Google Kareem. You can find his article. But like, one of the points that Kareem makes is that this sets again a stage that like a woman can't defend herself. Shanae don't need me to take up for her when somebody makes a dumbass joke. Like at some point, like their words, as Kareem said, no, if Chris Rock had physically assaulted Jada, by all means, your husband steps in. You can't handle some words, and you've been in Hollywood 30 years, and people have been saying out of pocket jokes. And like I said, I didn't see a lot of people yuck it up about Magic Johnson and HIV or R. Kelly peeing on girls. So this is where folks is drawing the line. Really?
Yeah.
Come on, people are fronting, man. People are fronting,
especially as a comedian.
The line is different for each person.
I think I agree, and I think
but I also think that had Will not slapped him, it would have just been a Jada eye roll, and that was it.
It would have went away.
Jada would have rolled her eyes, and then that would have been it.
Done.
Yep, I agree.
I don't think it was something that would have stuck with her for a long time. But I don't know what's going on in her head. But I mean, hey,
it wouldn't have stuck with the general public. Public would have just moved on.
Right. If you could survive the entanglement shit, then this was just like, yo, it's Chris Rock. there we go. It's a joke. People laugh and we move on.
I
So Mike,
think
you wouldn't you are you going to be
I'm not saying
smacking the shit out of comedians now?
I'm not saying that.
If they say
I'm
something
about to hug
about
you low
Kamisha,
down.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
that. But what I'm saying is, if I being a man first, I don't know how I would react if somebody hurt somebody I love like that,
Nah,
especially going through something. I've watched somebody go through an illness, and I know if somebody would have dissed them, whether they comedian or not, I'm liable. I wouldn't have been happy. So I don't know if I would have smacked them. But if I
I've sat in
see
the
that,
front row and people made fun and comedians got on me before. Like you,
yeah,
sometimes
me
you just
too.
you know that.
But that's like, but they don't know me. So, and they don't know if, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't know if I'm going through an illness or the person with me is going through an illness. I think that's different. You know what I mean?
I had
And
a
Chris,
dude diss my Buick.
but he just said that's what I'm saying. But in the statement, he said, "Jada, I love you. Can't wait to see." You know what I'm saying? GI Jane 2. So like if you think he really knew, and then he went and
I don't
came out
know.
there and be like,
A
you know
lot
what
of
I'm
people
saying?
said that he just figured like Jada rocked their hair short, like a lot of black women rock their hair short now. Like how I didn't know she had alopecia.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Like
she,
this,
she talked.
Apparently,
I've seen videos where she talked about it, and
yeah.
she was struggling with it, but now she loves her bald head and all this and that. Like I don't know. In one instance, I'm like, yo, if your wife was really hurt, and it looks like I'm fading to black here, yo. But in one instance, it's like, yo, if my wife was like really hurt by it, like she was really struggling, and that joke just kind of sent her, like I could look at her and see it's kind of taking her into like a depressed state. Yeah, I probably would have been pissed too. And in that case, I still don't condone going up and slapping them, but I can understand it. But like on the other hand, it's like, yo, I know any comedy show I've been to, even if you're sitting close, like, yo, there's a chance that the comedian's gonna tell a joke about you, especially if it's Chris Rock.
We ain't at a comedy show. A comedy show. We had the Oscars.
But we
I'm about to
also
get.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
hosted
about
by
to.
Chris Rock.
I'm about to get the biggest award of my life.
yeah, but you also
So-
the biggest,
so
but the
smack
biggest
this guy.
icon in stand up is hosting. Like one of the
Right.
gods of stand up is hosting. So it's like, yo, like you really think like at the end. I mean, I understand that you feel like you got to do what you got to do for your wife.
So he gets
like,
a pass. So comedians get a pass to say whatever they want because
they
of what
always
they're-
have though.
They
They
always
Okay,
have.
but
literally
that-
always
so
have.
so
It's
okay, they
comedy.
have. But does that make it right?
Yeah, part of the
Does it
essence
make it
of-
right?
part of the essence of comedy, which has been around for forever, is that you take life's pains and you make jokes at them. You laugh at life's pains. You hear a lot of comedians say that, and that's pretty much the essence of comedy.
Right.
But again, he might
But-
not have known she had alopecia. She could have just been rocking the short dude. I
You-
don't know.
That is what comedians do, but that doesn't mean that they're off the hook for. That don't mean there's still a line that can't be crossed just because you're a comedian. That's how I personally feel. Like yeah, you do take and make light of situations or whatever. Perfectly fine, cool. But that doesn't take away from a line being drawn. Health is one. People that make fun of Magic Johnson ain't right.
Mhm.
I don't. That's that. It's easier for people to accept it now because the man hasn't died and it didn't kill him, right?
Yeah, but for
But
30 years, folks are still cracking jokes, and they still
Yeah,
make jokes
and-
now, man.
they do. They do. That shit. I don't think that ain't right, in my opinion.
So one question I have actually shout out to lunch break I take actually. I got a question for this. Good question. So what happens when one of Chris's brothers smacks Will the next time they see him? Is it justified?
Chris got brothers.
If he smack
I
him,
think-
then it's time. It's rubble.
I think all of them are too old for this nonsense. They are like, look, man, let's be mature adults for a moment. Like, you're 50-year-old men.
But yeah,
Like, come on, you're
It was-
50-year-old men. Let's just get
Chris
real.
Rock didn't do
But
anything. He
that's
told
I
what I'm
agree.
saying.
No,
That's what
I
I'm
agree. I'm just saying, like, the people talk about assaulting people. Yo, at what point are you a grown ass man, like a real grown ass man, where you can take a joke and it not be like, yo, I gotta go fight somebody or shoot somebody? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
I
stop it.
think
Stop it.
I think
That's
part
what I'm
of Will.
saying,
I
that
think
was
a part of Will's speech. He said he did say, "Yo, I'm vulnerable right now." He said that. He said that he said in this industry you have to learn and have to fake like everything is good, laugh things off, hee ha ha, whatever.
Mhm.
So he addressed all of that. I
So,
feel like in his
but
speech.
but particularly that's what I'm saying. Like you saying the industry, but is it really the industry? Because is the industry been putting all this stuff out?
Yes, it's a part of the job that he's so he
But
has
that's
to.
because the Smiths keep telling their business.
That's what I'm saying.
He just wrote a
Yeah,
book a few months
Yeah.
ago.
yeah, no doubt. And
I
in the
just saw a
book,
post where they're making money off of this.
Yeah, of course
I
they
mean, they
are.
could,
book,
yo,
book,
Yeah,
book sales have
but
gone
that's what
up
I'm saying. But like,
for
is it?
Will Smith.
But is it? That's what I'm saying. But is it worth it though? Obviously, like if you making money off it, is what you being stripped of particularly your vulnerability and you being private, your privacy, and everybody all in your business picking that shit and knowing what's going on. Is it really worth it? Is the money really worth it?
is what really worth it? The money
Like,
for what?
like I'm saying, you just said like, they're making money off of this. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, is that really worth it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To the
because
point,
I don't really give a shit with anybody. I'm not famous, and I don't care what people say about me now. Like, yo, if the money's coming, let them say what they want to say. Let them
I
say
think
what they want to
I
say.
think when you got money, I think his whole point in his speech is like, yo, like I'm you know I'm a little weak in that department right now. Like things are getting to me.
And that's
It's
cool.
basically, and whether he's worth 300 million or not, I think the man, you are a man behind that 300 million. So
Mhm.
I
I'm
think
just
that's what we saw show his face. Right, it was wrong. It didn't look good at all. And I'm sure he's feeling dumb as hell right now.
well, he apologized.
He did, but but I think in a moment sometimes we react, and we may regret that reaction later. And clearly, I think that that's happening here. But
Well,
I'm not. I saw a man who was bothered, who was bothered by what was said about his wife. Point
I'll
blank.
say anything else I have to say on it. I'll just share when we're not recording, because I don't care I don't care.
yeah, really. God damn. So
I mean,
I was gonna say, like, what do y'all think? What do y'all think is on Chris Rock's mind right now? Like, like Will Smith did apologize to basically everybody except Chris Rock.
No, he
So
apologized to Chris.
did he?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
yeah, he
did.
said
okay.
Chris.
I was about to say, like, is this if you're Chris Rock? I mean, because at one point there was no public apology to him. He got up on stage and apologized to everybody in that moment except Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yo, is this? I mean, you're supposed to forgive, but like, yo, if I'm Chris Rock, like, yo, dude, yo, you know it's wrong because you're apologizing for it, but you're not apologizing to the money that you slapped. Like, yo,
Yeah, he released a statement, and Chris decided not to press charges, but the LAPD said if Chris decides later on that they're going to investigate it, like all of it is just.
yeah. Why are they
That,
waiting? Why are they waiting for that? We're waiting to see if Chris Rock press charge. Why?
Yeah. Wow.
Why?
there was a you know there was a I don't know if it was confirmed, but supposedly there was a statement that was supposedly from Chris Rock, but I heard that it wasn't confirmed that it was his or not. So I don't know about that, but
It just goes to show we
somebody
have
said
different.
he apologized in the IG post. That's not a real apology. Oh, I see what you're saying. But
Yo,
whatever.
what do you think? Well, Denzel said, be careful. You know what I'm saying? At your highest moment, the devils will come. What if you were Denzel? What would you be saying? What would you have said to Chris Rock?
Denzel
I
might
mean,
have
not to
smacked
Chris
his
Rock,
ass too.
What
to Will.
Denzel said? Denzel said at the will.
Yeah. What would you, if you're Denzel? What do you say? What would you have been saying to Will? Because I know everybody ain't as, Denzel is on that level where he's just like even kill. He give you the best advice ever. But if it was you giving Will advice at that moment, what would you have said?
Yo, you wild. I can't believe you did that. I'm sure that was the first thing he said. Like, yo, I can't believe you did. I can't believe you did that. Like, you bugged out. You know what I'm saying?
Yo said that.
Yeah. I don't.
I just would have been speechless. I probably would have looked at him like, how the guy looked at Tuco in Breaking Bad when he destroyed his homeboy like in front of everybody. I just would have been speechless, yo. I just been like, dang, like what
I,
I to
Well,
say, man. Like,
can I read y'all what Nicki Minaj said
yeah,
or no?
let's hear what Nikki has to say.
Okay, so Nicki said, "I love Chris Rock. I don't think he would have made that joke if he had known what Jada recently shared. But between him and the whole team at the Oscars, you mean to tell me not one of y'all heard this woman just share that heartbreaking story? Come on, son. Here's the thing, and this is such an amazing, eye-opening example of it. You just got witnessed. You just got to witness in the real time what happens in a man's soul when he looks. I can hear y'all. I can see y'all cringing now. Uh, in a man's soul when he looks over to the woman he loves and sees her holding back tears from a little joke at her expense. This is what any and every real man feels in that instance. While you're seeing the joke, he's seeing her pain. The husband gets a front row seat to his wife's pain. He's the one consoling her, drying her tears behind closed doors. And when those cameras go off, social media has made people feel that these husbands won't ever run into them in real life. Imagine what it must feel like to be losing your hair to the point where you have to shave it bald. You think that's easy to deal with for anyone? You don't think she cries about that many times? 2022, y'all gonna have to see these men about those jokes you made about their wives. I felt what she said. I felt that's. I mean, I could see it from that perspective. That's all I was
I
saying.
guess.
yeah, but what my the whole thing to that is, were you doing that when you had him on Red Table Talk? Were you consoling him? When he was literally crying on Red Table Talk? Were you consoling him then? Were you consoling him when you was talking about, um, their relationship, their sexual relationship on Red Table Talk? Were you consoling him then? Like you wasn't doing any of that. Like you were doing it to get streams and likes and views. So now with the whole thing with Nicki Minaj putting out a tweet, like, yeah, maybe some of that I'm not gonna say that it's not truthful in what she's saying, but like some of it also too. Like I think she's going a little bit overboard.
She's not the greatest source of morality for
Exactly.
me
Yeah.
personally. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
not
you
listening
putting
to Nicki.
that you putting out WAP, like knowing little girls is listening to this, twerking to it, and you said yourself you wouldn't even let your own children listen to it, but you're putting it out on the radio for everybody else, and it's not your fault that other people are not not censoring that for their kids, but you know who's listening to that shit, and you're putting it out anyway. So for me, she's not. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be asking her for advice on anything else other than WAP.
I, I like.
Well said.
I'll just, I'll keep my opinion
Say
until
what you
we're no
gotta
longer.
say. Say what you
No,
gotta
because
say. That's
there's
the
a bunch
point
of
of the conversation.
no. There's just a lot of foolishness, man. Like, yeah, I'll keep my opinion to myself till we're not recording.
Hey,
All right.
look. I again. I'm not saying he should have smacked him. Right. That all was wrong. Like I said, it looked bad. But I try to look at things in a different perspective. Right. You know, if you see someone you love hurt, I don't think you know how you're gonna react. Right. So I you would hope you know what I mean, like that you can control. I think Davon has said in the comments that you would hope that you can control those emotions, right? No excuse to not be able to control those emotions. But you don't know what you feeling at that moment, yo. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna rule it out. I would hope that I have enough self control to not go up on a stage and slap somebody. But
It just seemed like two polar extremes. Like I said, within like 6 seconds, yo, it's just
Yeah.
yo, you were just laughing at the joke.
Just laughing at it.
Now you are on national TV yelling at him to keep your wife's name out your yo. How do you what? The camera should have just. I wish the camera just stayed on Will and Jada the entire time because I wanted to see.
Yep.
I want to see that moment where Will goes from laughing hysterically to just, going up there and smacking him.
She probably gave a look, yo.
It was in seconds though, because literally Chris was
like, come on, yo.
Well, I
Like,
hear that
was
in
laughing,
his book.
she wasn't laughing.
I was about to say, I hear in his book he talks about how he felt like a coward because he was unable to protect his mom from physical abuse, and that may have played a role into his reaction. Which I guess I can understand that. I don't. I don't know. What do y'all think August is thinking about all this stuff? He's probably watching the Oscars. What do you think he's thinking?
He probably like, man, I'm happy I'm not even in the midst of this nonsense. Like, he probably like somewhere off in Utah somewhere and enjoying his life. Like, man, I don't even want to be a part of this. You know what I mean? Like, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? Because it's just messy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just messy from the start. It was just a mess. Sorry, my bad. I know I look disgusted a little bit, but it's
yeah.
Well,
anyway,
yeah. Well,
I think all has been said about what could be said about that.
Completely agree.
Well,
I guess we're out on that, man. People are gonna have their opinion. You may agree with some of us, you may not agree with any of us. People are gonna argue what would have happened, what should have happened. It is what it is, man. Keep the peace. Peace.
Peace.